Please tell me this bus is not taking this exit. I did not just sit in traffic to get stuck behind a bus. Oh, she feels healthy. This car right here is a 341,000 mile BMW M3. Before me, it's only had one owner, and today we're going to talk about everything that's wrong with the car, starting by taking a drive in it. So 342,002 is what it says on the dashboard right now. And honestly, this video should definitely be taken with a grain of salt. I know I'm going to talk about the bad, but I'm also going to talk about the good because this car deserves some praise. This is a fighter for sure. Let's talk about the big things that I'm sure you're wondering about. When it comes to E46 M3, they have what's called the big three. Number one is subframe reinforcement. Now the subframes on these cars, especially when driven harder, but just in general, are known to crack over time. Eventually, that can lead to really bad things happening. This car, from what I've been told, was driven on the highway from Chicago to Connecticut back and forth. That's why it has so many miles on it, and it was always maintained at the dealership. That being said, there's no documentation of the subframe ever being reinforced, so that will be one of the first things that we're going to tackle on this car. It's going to be a fun DIY job. I know Billy loves his BMWs, so he's definitely looking forward to doing that one with me. The second one is rod bearings. Rod bearings, as far as I know, have also not been done on this car. Now, that's not a huge concern. It's possible, and I would imagine being dealer maintained, they were probably replaced at some point, but as far as I can tell, and based on the minimal information I could get from the dealer, because they won't tell me information because I'm not the owner at the time of that service, rod bearings have not been done either. So we're gonna get a Blackstone oil analysis and make sure that things don't look super wonky in there, but that is that's also on the list for sure. And then the third thing is the Vanos, whatever you want to call it, system. That was replaced at 116,000 miles, which is over 200,000 miles ago. So we may run into Vanos issues too, but that's only going to be an issue if it throws a code. And so far, knock on wood, blinding light, the only light that's on the dashboard right now is the washer fluid light. Speaking of the dashboard, the only issue is that the oil temperature gauge does not work. So if you're looking over my shoulder in a future video and you see me ripping on it, until we fix that, just know that I'm conscious that I need to let the oil warm up. I know that I need to let the oil warm up. It just happens to not be working on this car. I actually haven't taken this car out to redline yet, so this is a perfect opportunity to do that. And if it blows up, it'll blow up on camera, and we'll put an LS motor in. Now, the only other issue with this car, and the reason I haven't hit redline yet, is it's on some 2015 Falcon all seasons that are not very confidence inspiring. Please tell me this bus is not taking this exit. I did not just sit in traffic to get stuck behind a bus. Oh, we're in business. All right, no one behind us, no one in front of us. Camera is recording. Oh, she feels healthy. Healthy. And the rev match in a second when you're actually ripping on it, I kind of struggle with that one around town, but when you're actually ripping on it, that was cake. Anyway, let's get back home and I'll walk you through some of the other minor imperfections on the car. Not a single light on the dash other than that washer. This head unit is it's seen better days, but that still works. While we're on the interior, everything in here was super dirty. I've already started the cleaning process, but like, this is brown. There's a couple things that need to be really cleaned up in here. This door was the worst. It's now cleaned up. The cleaning video will be the next video that you guys see, I believe. The steering wheel has seen better days. You know, it's a little scratched up, but like, this is all nitpicky stuff. There's really nothing wrong in here. Specifically, the driver's seat as well as the passenger seat have probably seen better days as well. This leather is all cracked and faded and colored, and there's some color transfer on here, some blue there, some blue here. It's ripped down here, and then a nice little rip on the bolster as well, which is not the end of the world. None of this affects drivability. It's just, I mean, you guys want to know how the interior holds up after 350,000 miles, so I'm showing it to you. Back seat looks like it was rarely ever used. There may be like a little bit of mold or something. Oh, I had locked the controls. There may be like a little bit of mold or something down in there. That will get cleaned out all in the cleaning video, so don't worry about that. Then we come to the exterior of the car. Big flex if that still works. Now when you buy a car, especially a car like this, there are 2 times that you don't want to be looking at it. One time is at night and the other time is in the rain. The reason is both of those hide imperfections on the car. Now, when JR and Jacob went and looked at the car, it was nighttime, and as you guys saw in the unveil video, which if you haven't, it's in the top corner here, it was raining. So I haven't seen the condition of the paint, and honestly there are a couple little things, but for the most part, the car is pretty clean. Now, what I've noticed all around the car is, that may be a little hard to see. Let's see if we can get it to focus here. See those little tiny scratches right there? There's a lot of those all over the car. There's some on the hood. The fronts of both of these fenders. This is gonna be hard. Another hard thing to film. Let's just film all the challenging things today, why don't we? See the front of the fender there is rusty. The front of both fenders is like that. I'm convinced that the hood and the front bumper were resprayed. We're actually going to bring the car over to Mike's Auto Body. He'll be able to tell us, but the bumper color doesn't quite match between the 2 of those, as you see. There's also these like weird rusty paint chips, and the bumper fitment is not perfect. I'm convinced that the front bumper and the hood got resprayed, I would imagine because of rock chips, if I had to guess. Yeah, the paint matches even more off on this side. So I think this and that were resprayed, which is why there's no rock chips on it. There's a little bit of rust here. People were asking about rust on the rest of the car. Honestly, I haven't found any. A ding here, a chip there. I mean, this is all stuff that happens over 300,000 miles. There's really no worries. The rubber trim around the windows is starting to deteriorate, or is very deteriorated, I guess I should say. If we pop over this side, you can tell it's definitely seen better days. There's like a big gaping hole back there. I want to repaint these guys just because I hate the look of like halfway chipped off. I think I can just sand that and repaint it. On this side, couple dings, couple door handle stuff. Like really, it's not that bad, all things considered. This is all salt and crap. That actually may be, I think this is road grime. I'll have to get some detail spray. There's some like more rusty spots back here. And then the rear bumper was 150% resprayed. That's just like a totally different color there. But that's okay. This side fits really well. I guess this is a common thing, but this side sags in a little bit there. You can see the fitment is not perfect on the bumper. If you have info on any of the issues that I'm running into or suggestions on ways to solve this, like the window trim or stuff like that, let me know, because like I said, I am no BMW expert, and I would gladly default to the experts of the internet to tell me how to fix up some of this stuff. While we're on the topic of the rear bumper, I feel bad because this gentleman definitely had it resprayed and then backed into something. It's spiderwebbed here. It's also bumped up. There's a little bit of damage up here as well. I don't know if you would classify that as rust, but that's probably the only rust-ish spot on the entire car, is right on the bottom there. Arguably the most impressive thing for the mileage is that both of these little wing windows, I guess you would call them, little pop-outs, both of them still work fully all the way in and out. The sunroof, however, I have not checked if it opens or closes. I know that this thing is stuck, this like visor thing that goes back and forth. I'm worried that if I try to open it, I will not be able to close it. So maybe one day I'll be brave enough to do that, but for now, I'm content with it just being a sunroof. I also forgot to mention that this headliner piece, or I guess it's technically a pillar, is sagging, which apparently is a normal E46 thing, but the headliner is not sagging, so I think the headliner has been redone, and either this was redone poorly or it wasn't redone at all. When we were at FC Bureau, we also took the opportunity to look underneath the car and see what's wrong under there. What do we think, boys?
Dude, I am blown away. Like,
Jared has an E46 M3, so for him to say that takes a lot.
There's obviously general crustiness from being in New England.
Yeah.
But like past that,
what's this?
That's just
diff fluid.
Diff fluid.
Nice.
It's not.
We don't need that.
It's had a little Manchester muffler.
There's that oil or power.
Oh yeah, little patch up right there. That's custom, dude.
But that looks like oil.
Yeah. So this is probably oil, which this isn't significant enough to make me worry either.
No, it's just oil.
But that means that
oil pan gasket.
It's probably an oil pan gasket, which is like negligible. It's just, don't park it on any new driveways.
If that pulled up outside your house, you'd think,
I hope he parks in the street because I don't need any damn oil stains in my driveway.
But it's not like, it's not, yeah.
Look at this belt. Even the belt is good condition.
Yeah, but still replace it.
That's easy. I'm worried about mechanical
The
stuff.
only panel
Alright,
that's missing is this one.
Oh, there's a
others are all-
panel that goes there? Oh, she got a little clapperoni right here.
Yeah, she got slapped
so
out.
I'm
That's why.
I'm seeing some oil in here, which to me would indicate
Rear main?
potentially the rear main. So I'm thinking you probably have a weepy rear main, which that's not a big deal. Like
BMW.
you can run like this for a while. But if you come up here, if you come up and look through here, see how that's all wet?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's probably just a rear main. That's not like scary stuff.
Ultimately, I'm super satisfied with the condition of this car. Obviously, it's clearly been loved. There's a little bit of, like we said, a little bit of damage underneath the front bumper, a little bit of weeping oil, and a little bit of weeping diff fluid. Definitely not the end of the world. Very excited to get this car cleaned up, bring it back to kind of how it should be. And, you know, we have a very, very, very healthy, at least as far as I can tell, starting point from this car. So I hope you guys tune in for the journey. If you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe, because next week we're getting all the gunk out of this thing and bringing her back to life. So until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Go out there and spread some positivity, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.